My name is Duncan Alderdice, and the reason I'm making these videos is to document the journey I take as I become who I am. We're going to do something different today. We're going to set a timer. We're going to set the timer so we don't go over time. I'm curious, and now I got 2 timers started. Today, I had a really good day. What did I do today? Well, I was going to go buy boots. And that's what I then went to do. And I found some online, the specific brand that I liked, Baffin. Baffin, shout out Baffin. It's a Canadian company. And the Canadian company makes good winter boots. And they've been tried and tested in Canadian winters and tundra and all over the place. And there's one particular kind that's rated for negative 10 degree to 10 degree weather, which is perfect for the weather of Montreal. Sometimes it's going to be closer to like negative 20. However, there are some boots that are rated negative 10 to negative 30. But those ones are designed for like your fucking 4 hours in the fucking snow and the tundra. And what my concern would be is that they're a bit too heavy duty, and specifically on the metro, when I'm on the metro, whether that's a bus or the metro or the REM. Fucking learned today that there was a tunnel bored underneath Mount Royal, which connected Gare Centrale, like the main train station place, with Mount Royal. More specifically, though, no. Mont Royal is a town as well as a mountain, as well as a subway station. But that's the top part of the northern part of Montreal, and because of that happened, it was more rural, it's farmers areas there. But when that happened, then people could commute there, and that was a fundamental part of the expansion of Montreal. The reason I learned this is because I was going to get the boots, and no. Yes, the boots that, let's just go with where we are in the thought. I was going to get the boots, and when I went to one store, I'm not going to say because they didn't have it, they had 0 stock. They number one, it said online that they had them, but this was technically a different website. But then they didn't have them in stock, and that was annoying. And then I was going, I'll try on a different pair that was kind of similar to the ones that I didn't think I was going to like, but I was going to like. And they have 4 in stock in a size 9, and that's it. Going like, what's the fucking point of retail anymore? What is the point? And then so from there, it was like, okay, there's another one, and there was like a boutique type store. I don't know what it's called. It starts with a J. And it was on the other side in Mile End, or the Plateau, which is just a part of Montreal. But then so I was going to take the metro for it, but then I walked down the streets of Montreal because I had not been downtown in a week. So I wanted to explore, get outside. Also, I hurt my leg, or like the inside of my leg here, like right at the beginning of the top of the calf. Like I woke up and it like really hurt just to kind of extend. And I tried to figure out why that was. And so I talked to GPT, and GPT essentially said, well, the conclusion was, first, give it an identity of being a smart person. But because I've been pacing back and forth in my apartment, that is different than walking. And the reason it's different than walking is because you start and stop consistently and frequently. And when you do that, probably you're going to only be stopping with one leg. And that's going to put a lot more pressure on that one leg. That's why it hurts only on my left and on my right. But so I walked outside all the way to Place des Arts, which is where the apartment that I'm going to get is next to. Then got in the metro, and then got off at the stop, and then tried to explore and find my way there, because it's not as fun if you just know exactly where you're going. Like, you don't see as much. And like the Plateau is like, they have cool, like stylish, hip apartment buildings. Like they're colored in all different things. It seemed great. Unfortunately, the place, after I finally fucking found it, took forever, but that's okay. They did have the boot I was looking for, which is stylish. Billy Irish. Bitch, I'm stylish. But they did not have a size 11 or 12. And on the website, I'm technically a 10.5, though 11 boot. But this website said, the review said that it tends to fit tight. And so they didn't have an 11 or a 12, but they did have a 10.5. Tried the 10.5 on, and it fit, but it was very tight. And I'm going like, I'd rather a little bit more wiggle room, not thinking that my foot pressure is going to burst the seam over time and make them able to last a bit longer. So that was disappointing. And then I was going to look for other different sort of places to go, but instead I then just started exploring Montreal. And then I decided I wanted to explore the underground city. There's an entire city underground. Apparently there's 33 kilometers of uninterrupted underground city stuff. And so I did a bunch of tourist things. And like it specifically, like I did not go, like once I got to Gare Centrale or Bonaventure, one of the two that I decided I was going to choose, I didn't use the GPS, and then I was trying to figure out how to get there, and then I got lost, and then I explored all the different sort of places, and then literally the place Place Bonaventure, which is, it doesn't matter if like, that was the place that I came out this door and was going like, where do I need to go? Where do I need to go? And I didn't go because I was like, that's not the right way. But it was the last of the 4 different options that I chose. And in the end, it was the right one. And then I just kept going. It was just like so much places. And then, because that was the other thing I wanted to do, was I wanted to get some sort of paraphernalia that's of Montreal. After learning about how the Montreal flag is, it was going like, okay, we have Quebec now. But so, look, this is the thing we have. So we have Quebec, rather than it having all the keys on one, but now there's a fleur-de-lis. Look. If you jingle it, it'll always show up on the right side, I think. Maybe you can manufacture it, Bill. Why is it not working? I literally designed this, and it's not working for you guys. But so this is my Quebec one, fleur-de-lis. Then this is my Montreal one, because it's Montreal. Canada. There's Canadian flag. But then also on it, there's this little... Okay, we're on the final minute. Okay, so then there's the Montreal thing right here. Oh my God, how cool is that? It's in Montreal. Then there's fleur-de-lis, that's for the French people. There's the rose, it's supposed to be red, that's for English. There's the thistle, that's for Scots. The Scottish, I think I told you about how that was formed, because the Nordic guy was creeping up on some Scots and stepped on a thistle and then screamed, and then they could defend him. So they're like, don't fucking step on us. Then luck of the Irish. And then this is supposed to be a white pine to signify the indigenous populations of the Montreal area. And so that's why it's commemorated to that. And then also because I wanted to, I got this one. This is just going to be a keychain that it was supposed to have my nail hook on it, but now it's just on the floor. This is the dome for the Olympics. Montreal is the only place that has ever hosted the Summer Olympics in Canada, which is unsurprising. It's a bigger fleur-de-lis, which is the one I wanted to have, but then I bought the big one and then love Quebec sort of thing. But in other news, Mark, I think we hit time, but I don't know right now. Let's double check. I don't think so, actually. Fuck, way fucking over. God fucking damn it. Okay, well, in any case, also for those of you who don't know, Mark Maynard is my sales manager, who used to be my sales manager, but now he's an account executive at a company I used to work for. Anyways, Clementine Club, thanks for sticking around as always. And I know you know this already, but I'll say it again. That desire is what drives you forward. The pain you're going through is necessary. That's why you need to believe in yourself, because you're more capable of doing great things than you give yourself credit. Lean in, aim up, and move forward. Yes, you can. Okay, no, that one fucking yes. Sorry. See you tomorrow.